today to talk to you all. You know, when I was approached about this, to talk about how art can lead to success and to talk to you guys about just what you guys are doing now, I thought that was a really unique opportunity because it made a difference for me. So, as I mentioned, I'm making another flipstick, and there's a spoiler alert, this is going to lead to a Shark Tank appearance, but I'm going to give you guys the backstory of how it all happened. So, for me, I was just like y'all, in high school, had half decent grades, and got a scholarship to go to Howard. Who's heard of Howard? The real HU, okay, a couple people, in DC. So I go there, right, I'm studying chemical engineering, and I'm like, oh, I got my scholarship, I'm good, but I lose my scholarship within the first year. Why? Anxiety, depression, wasn't getting my schoolwork done, and I ended up back at home. I felt like a failure. Like, I for real felt like a failure. I didn't talk to none of my friends from high school. I was like, man, I screwed up, big time. But I knew I couldn't let that ruin everything. So I said, you know what? Get on Google, how much does the average college graduate make? Who knows how much the average college graduate makes? Just the average across all fields.
25.
The average college graduate, fresh out of college, makes around $35,000 a year. Okay? So I said, cool, that's my number. If I can hit $35,000 a year, then I won't look like a fool to all my friends who are going to be graduating. Some of these went to prestigious schools and stuff. So I said, cool, I got to work. So I started working in cell phone accessories at Sprint. Just selling phones, slinging iPhones, like the iPhone 5 was out at the time. You know, I was just hustling. I was 19 years old. And even though I had failed, I knew that there was an opportunity in that failure. So while I was selling phones at Sprint, you know, I get promotions, I end up moving up through the ranks, and eventually I get a call from a boss that I was working with at Sprint. He's like, hey, you know, I'm over here at Verizon in the call center. It's like, you can make way more than you're making at Sprint. Good. And at the time, at Sprint, I was already making like $40,000, $42,000 a year. Just selling cell phones, getting paid commission. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to Verizon. So I head to Verizon, start selling a service called Fios. Very similar like Charter Internet. So I start going there, I'm selling stuff, winning all these awards and everything. Next thing I know, I'm 4 years from getting kicked out of college, and I'm making $75,000, $80,000 a year, right? And my friends are just graduating, getting in at $35,000. I'm like, I'm making $80,000, going to Miami, I'm having a good time. Barely 21 years old. So I'm like, cool, I think I got this. Now I'm at Verizon, right? I'm making good money, I'm winning awards, I'm a top salesperson. But you know what? That anxiety, that depression, it just creeps up on me again. And I didn't know why, because I'm like, man, I'm making all this money, like, what's going on? Like, why can't I get this? And truth be told, I wasn't happy. I was not happy in my job, I wasn't happy in my life, and I knew it was time for me to leave. It's time for me to get out of there. And I was like, you know what? It's time for me to start my own business. That's what I'm gonna go and do, marketing, like I'm gonna just do my own business. And so I quit my job, and I was gonna start marketing, but then I got another phone call from a company called Square. Now, who's heard of Square? Raise your hand. Who's heard of Cash App? Raise your hand. Square makes Cash App. Not only they make Cash App, who's been to like a coffee shop or someplace, they swipe your credit card, it's like a little white iPad. Have you seen that? Square makes that too. And Square makes a whole bunch of other products. So I start working at Square, I'm talking to business owners, to doing Cash App, all that good stuff. And I'm making money, I'm like, man, this is great. And this is a tech company. So who here thinks they want to get in like tech company where you Google, Facebook, something like that? Anybody? Only one person? All right, let me back up. Just shout out where you want to work, what do you want to do, just shout it out. So let me hear some people.
Real estate.
Louder, louder.
Real estate.
Architect, real estate. Keep going. Stop. Engineer. Construction. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So if you get into tech, engineering is in tech. Honestly, you can do construction, real estate in tech too. But tech companies are cool because they just give you all kinds of benefits. We're talking unlimited paid vacation. You just say, oh, I'm going on vacation. Okay, great, we're going to pay you anyway, have fun. Like, coming to work, catered lunch every single day. And we're not talking catered lunch like they got in the school. We're talking good food every single day. So I'm at this job making good money, all these benefits, having a good time, and I'm like, you know what? Still not happy. I'm not happy here, I gotta go. And the truth be told for me is I was like, man, I wanna do my own thing. I wanna run my own business. Like, that's what I wanna do. So in October of 2017, I quit my job, start doing marketing full time, realized, you know what, I don't like this marketing thing either. Now I'm working for like 8 people instead of working for 1 person. But I'm slowly figuring things out. And at the time, my boss had given me a book. When I quit, he's like, Akeem, listen, I want you to go be some bum somewhere, not doing anything. I'm gonna give you this book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, a guy out of Brazil. And this book is about this kid who's searching for his treasure. He doesn't know exactly how he's gonna get to it, but he's searching for this treasure. And this old wise man tells him, yo, look, you need to be looking out for omens. Omens are what's gonna tell you where you need to go. And today we may call omens something like a sign. Right? It's just something you hear, something you see, and it tells you like, man, that's what I need to do, that's the direction I need to go. So I had just read this book, and I get a phone call from my uncle. He's an engineer at NASA. It's 3 a.m., and he's telling me about all this stuff. He likes to talk about aliens and conspiracy theories, and since he works for NASA, you kind of got to listen to him, because he could be right, you never know what he knows. And so he's telling me about this project he's working on that was this adhesive that he was going to use for this worm. And he's telling me about it, I'm like, man, this sounds cool. I had just mounted my TV on the wall. It took me like 3 weeks. And I'm like, man, if I had this special NASA adhesive, that could have saved me a lot of time. And while, you know, I kept thinking about it over the next few days and weeks, even though I knew, all right, you know, the TV may not work, but a little tiny TV, that may work. And that's where the idea for Flipstick was born. So what's Flipstick? Well, it's this little device, goes on the back of your phone. And 1, it works as a kickstand. So you can watch your videos, Netflix, all that good stuff. But 2, when you want to make a TikTok video, or you're in a car, you're trying to watch a video, you can stick your phone to any flat surface. So wood, glass, metal, concrete, pretty much anything. Comes up with a twist, you can wash it, clean it, use it over and over again. Right, so I came up with this product, taught myself to file a patent. Who knows what a patent is? Raise your hand. A patent. Who knows what that is? Keep going. Bingo. It means you own it. And the thing about a patent means you own your intellectual property, right? Because if you got a coat, okay, yeah, I own my coat. But if you have an idea, you use a patent to trademark that idea, to protect that idea. And he mentioned a trademark. But there's something different between a patent and a trademark. Who knows what it is? A patent protects an idea or a product or a process. What does a trademark protect? Anybody? Any guesses? Bingo. Protects your name, your brand. It's the most valuable thing you will ever own. Guess what? Everybody makes tennis shoes. But what makes that tennis shoe valuable? That Nike check. That's trademarked. No one else can use that. You can copy the shoe. You can't copy the logo. So that's why it's so valuable. If I have a little piece of paper, right, a little thin piece of toilet paper, I use it to blow my nose, that ain't worth much. But if it says what on it, what makes it worth something? Kleenex. Bingo. That's what makes it valuable. So that's a trademark. Now there's one other one, a bonus question. So there's a patent, there's a trademark, and there's one other thing. Does anybody know what it is? Copyright. They're all intellectual property. So one protects your idea. One protects your name. Oh, who said it? I heard it.
Someone over there said copyright.
Who said copyright? You said y'all too? But boom. Copyright's the third one. What does copyright protect? No, that's a trademark. Close. It is copy work, but what kind of work? Boom. Music, photos. Anything that you create that's in the creative realm, whether it's music, photos, a book, writing, poetry, whatever, that's where you use the copyright to protect. And oftentimes people don't protect their stuff. So the reason I kind of harp on that is if you guys have ideas, if you got lyrics, if you make a beat, protect it, because someone will come and steal it. And if you don't have the proof to say, no, I did this first, they're going to walk away with all your money. Cool. So anyway, I go about, right, I make this patent, I launch a Kickstarter. Who's heard of Kickstarter? Maybe.
Like
You know what it is? Can you tell everyone what it is?
Like a GoFundMe?
Louder?
Like a GoFundMe?
It is like GoFundMe, but tell people exactly what is it?
I don't know, like people donate to help your business.
Bingo. So the key word there is they're donating. Like typically when you raise money for a business, you have to give something to somebody that's not just like product. You have to give them what? If they give you money for your business, what do you have to give them?
Free.
Not quite commission.
A share. Percentage.
Not quite. You can
Merch.
give them interest if it's a loan. That's good.
A share.
Merch.
A share.
What'd you say?
A share.
A share. What's a share of something? It's a percentage. It's equity. That's the most valuable thing you have, because if you give away equity, guess what? You ain't never getting that equity back. And if you give them, when Zuckerberg gave away equity in Facebook when it was worth nothing, now it's worth billions, right? When Beyonce said, you know what, don't worry about paying me for this concert, Uber, I'll just take a percentage. That $1 million she would have got paid for that concert is now worth, what, 50 million, 100 million? So equity is the most valuable thing you have. The beautiful thing about something like Kickstarter is whether you got a movie, whether you're trying to produce a song, an album, whether you're trying to make a product like mine, whatever it may be, people will give you money to start your business, and all they want to return is some type of gift. Whether that's your product, if you're making a movie, they get to see the first cut of the movie, whatever it may be. So if you have ideas and you don't have any money, you're good. You can still find people that believe in your idea and want to see it come to life, and they will give you the money ahead of time to do it. So that's what we did with Flipstick. I taught myself to do a video, we launched a video campaign, everything, and we made around $16,000, $17,000 just from a video. I had no product, didn't exist. So as I'm going about my business, you know, we're ramping up, we end up in the Galleria Mall, we make like $30,000 in 2 months at the Galleria Mall selling Flipsticks. And then we follow up, go out to a show called CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. We win some awards out there, and at that event, I applied to be on Shark Tank. I go out, audition, I'm like, cool, we just made 30 grand or more, like we're a shoe-in. We get to the first round of auditions, they call us back, we make a video, I'm like, I got this, like I'm gonna be on Shark Tank, it's cool. Now we're talking 2019, early 2019. And I had the idea in October of 2017, and we launched our Kickstarter in April of 2018. So just to give you guys timelines, right? Like we're less than a year from when we launched Flipstick. So I'm feeling good. I'm like, cool, producer's supposed to call me. They give me a call. I'm like, oh yeah, we must be moving forward. Guess what they said? Nope. Said you're not moving forward, we're sorry. I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. I felt the same way I felt when I lost my scholarship. I was just like, man, like I put all my eggs in one basket and now it's for nothing. But just like then, I knew that, hey, look, failure is not the end of the line. Like when you get an F on a test, it may be like, oh man, there's nothing worse that can happen. But in life, failure is always learning opportunities. No one that you know that's really successful has never failed. And if you're afraid to fail, you can never be successful. And so because I knew that, hey, there's an opportunity here. There's something that I need to keep my eyes out for. That there's an omen out here for me to pay attention to. And for me, that omen came when I was scrolling through Instagram and I see this event. It was an event that Diddy was having. It's called the Revolt Summit. It's going to be in Atlanta. All these celebrities going to be there. DJ Khaled. I'm like, you know what? I couldn't get on Shark Tank. That's cool. I'm going to convince Sean Diddy Combs to invest in Flipstick. That's what's going to happen. It's going to work. Don't worry about it. So I'm like, cool. I'm going to go have a pitch competition. I'm going to go pitch. It's going to be great. Then, of course, as luck would have it, I found out, oh, you know, the pitch competition's closed. You can't compete. So did I give up? Nope. I was like, well, you know, there's no pitch competition, but there is a rap competition. So you know what? I'm going to rap my pitch for my business, and that's how I'm going to get Sean. And it's going to be cool, and it'll work out. Am I a rapper? No, but it's fine. I'll figure it out. And did I tell anyone about this plan? No, because it's a stupid plan. It don't make no sense. But what you guys will realize is when you guys have good ideas, if somebody else doesn't believe in themselves that they can make it happen, they're not, it don't matter if it's your mother, they're not going to believe you can make it happen. So something else I learned along the way was that, you know what? If you believe that you can make something happen, just go do it. Don't tell your mom, your grandma, everyone else, because they'll discourage you. They'll tell you, are you sure you can make it happen? And it's not because they mean any harm to you, but it's like if they don't think it's realistic, they're gonna try to say, oh, well, you know, it may not happen. Don't worry about that, just go for it. So I get down to Atlanta, I've got my rap ready, I'm ready to go. I do the rap, they love it, they're like, this was the best rap we've heard, like, we're giving you top marks. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna get on the stage, I'm gonna do this for Diddy, it's gonna work out. And then they tell me, oh, you know what? We're sorry, even though you had the top score, you can't get on the stage because this is for a record deal and we don't want to take spots from real artists. So I couldn't get on the stage. Damn. Now at this point, I just spent $500 on a VIP ticket to come to this event, bought a plane ticket. I've invested almost $1,000 into just coming here to do this event. And I'm like, man, this opportunity is here for me. Like, this whole event is here for me. I got to take advantage of it. So I'm sitting at the comedy show. Who knows who DC Young Fly is? I'm sitting at the comedy show. DC's getting on stage. I'm talking to the guy next to me. I'm like, you know what? Showed him the flip stick. I'm like, I gotta get these comedians' attention, like, because I have to get on the stage. So DC is sitting there, they're cracking their jokes, and I'm like, you know, last ditch effort. I just stand up and I hold my flip stick in one hand and my phone in the other, and I'm just standing there, look him dead at the eye, and I'm like, I know you see me. I paid for VIP, so I'm in the front. I'm like, I know you see me. I was like, you better say something. And he looks, he keeps telling his jokes, he looks again, and I won't use the language he used, I won't get in trouble. But he's like, man, what you trying to sell? That was the only thing I needed. Next thing I know, I'm telling him about what it sticks to. He's trying to figure out what it sticks to. It wasn't the stuff it should be sticking to. And we just cracking up. There's all these jokes. The whole comedy show gets derailed. Not everyone's coming up and throwing their products on the stage, their albums. Just completely derails the show. But eventually a rapper comes up and he's like, oh, I'm gonna rap. And he gets on the stage with the comedians to rap. And I'm like, yo, I gotta rap. And DC's like, oh, God. Not the flip stick guy, I think he can rap. Like, come on, man. You're already talking about the products. Don't get up here and embarrass yourself. I'm like, no, I gotta rap. So, if you can imagine, I'm on stage, get on stage, do my rap, everyone's loving it, some people are laughing. It doesn't matter to me, I'm achieving my goal. And when I get off the stage, the person that's there to greet me is the same person that told me that you can't move forward in the competition because you're not a real artist. Now she's like, let me introduce you to Diddy's COO, and oh, our sponsor AT&T, let me introduce you to them, because now I got the whole crowd is on my side. They're hyped. Everyone's coming up to me, talking to me about it, so they're hyped about everything. And as you can imagine, eventually, with lots of follow-up and calls and all this stuff, I get Diddy to buy 500 flip sticks. He flies me out to LA. There's a whole thing with Snoop Dogg that I don't have time to get into right now. Snoop Dogg falls in love with it. But what ended up happening was a guy who was at that first event in Atlanta, he was a casting director for Shark Tank. And I never pitched to him. He was doing the pitch competition. But in February of 2020, he shoots me a text. He's like, hey man, heard you've been doing big things with Sean's organization. I'm gonna be in Kansas City tomorrow with Shark Tank. Come out. And this time I go pitch within a week. They call me like, great, you're gonna be on the show. Made it all the way to Shark Tank, and as you can see, it wasn't an easy journey. And that's because oftentimes success is not a straight line up, right? It's up, down, around the corner, whatever. But if you continue to push forward in whatever you guys are trying to do, trust me, you'll get there. And when this aired, we made $100,000 in 3 days.